Finally, it's happened. I have an excuse to talk about Doctor Who.
Oh God! It's not real! I fell for it!
I'm a data analyst now, by the way. The fictional British security agency told me so. The Formless is a very new ARG, like truly less than a month old, about the British science fiction show Doctor Who. If you don't know much about Doctor Who, that's fine, hun. I'll hold your hand. The normal show is about a shape-shifting alien who faces essentially monsters of the week in his blue telephone box, protects the universe, that sort of stuff. It's a very fluffy family show most of the time, so when it gets dark, we fans just eat it up. That's right. I said we. I'm a Doctor Who fan. I even love Lovin' Monsters. Sue me. The work that Justification is putting in right now is very different than anything I've personally seen in the Doctor Who space. In layman's terms, it's the horror of a Saturday morning cartoon if the heroes never show up to the fight. These reality-bending goons just get to run amok. As of writing this, it is June 8th, 2025. The series is broken into 5 main videos and 3 hidden videos with 16 branching paths from the latest upload. Just kidding. A 6th video along with at least 1 additional hidden video dropped as I was making this. There will be some things that are out of date here and there, but we're fine for the most part. One more time, this series is new, so I will keep my theories to a minimum. I will try to keep my theories to a minimum and only report the objective facts here. If you want to learn more, look into the description. There you'll find a link to the Discord. From there, there's a full document that covers everything. I'm gonna cover as much as I can here, but in that Discord there's a chat for, the real ARG solvers. I'm just kind of sharing, maybe documenting the findings, and I also have a theory at the end. We're gonna try and keep things entry level, but entry level is still confusing with Doctor Who, so strap in. Going in order of upload, May 26, 2025, the video "The TARDIS Has Been Breached" is uploaded. The video switches between an automated voice and the voice of a man who, for some reasons that we'll get into a little later, we're just going to call Philip Smith. He speaks on recent events going on at his world's agency against alien threats. It's from the actual show. It's called the Unified Intelligence Task Force, or UNIT. Immediately things are off. The date shown at the beginning is one ahead of the actual upload date, and the playback glitches like it's hostile to us. Ignoring these red flags, Philip describes his fake doctor who came to save the day like he always does, but him realizing this thing was not the heroic doctor, but something else.
We had been dealing with some temporal excursions, and we called for the doctor for help. But when he came, I think we got the wrong one.
I don't want to play so much of the audio. I just want to keep it to a minimum because you should watch the videos yourself. They're so good. I love them. Philip describes the danger of this creature, mentioning the Formless for the first time as he urges the listener to just avoid it at all costs. He gives a very chilling description of this creature's abilities, how it eats its victims, it learns your names, memorizes your face, it eats your memories essentially.
If it gets too close, all you can do is run. There's no way to save us now, I'm sorry. Good luck.
Error.
The recording ends, and an error message appears saying the file has been deleted, and then several cryptic messages. Don't fall asleep. He is coming for you. The door is not real. It is hiding the new entrance. From the language and the context of following episodes, we can confidently say the people falling asleep refers to how this creature feeds. As for the message about the door, a potential answer waits in the next episode. The next upload, Unit Distress Call, was uploaded a day after the original. It is the final stand of a man that we met in the previous video, as he is desperate and alone in the unit headquarters, as supposedly every other unit officer is taken or murdered. Wherever Philip is hiding, he has found the doctor's spaceship and notably mentions At the end of his line, Philip gives up and enters the ship in hopes of finding the real doctor, but instead finds nothing inside. He tries to tell us his name, but it's redacted, and he breaks down, saying he no longer exists. The video ends with another error message.
Error. This file has been deleted. Perception fog detected. You are not conscious. You must wake up. Wake.
This one is thick and juicy with lore. Okay, sure. This one is thick and juicy with lore. Let's start with what is uncertain. The door mentioned in the last episode may refer to the iconic doors of the Doctor's spaceship. This is all the wake-up theory by Vammy, which I like the most at the moment, but it's incomplete because we don't have all the information. It addresses the door in sleep, so it gives us somewhere to start. Secondly, the in-universe date is not listed, and other timeline events make its placement uncertain, but a message from the big man himself tells us this is not the most recent event in the timeline, taking place at some point after the events of the previous message, judging from the log numbers. But before the next two videos, because we've been told directly that those come later. Doctor Who is a funny little show about time travel and complicated sci-fi, so it's hard to make any hard assumptions about things not directly stated. The implication is Philip is dead, but him or his voice do show up in the following videos. Also, just really super duper quickly, we're just going to do a Doctor Who lore aside. We're going to do a little side tangent about Doctor Who lore. It's going to be really quick. There's this concept from normal Doctor Who called a perception filter. It explains how people don't notice that Doctor Who flies around in a bright blue 1960s police box. Basically, it's when you can see a thing physically but can't notice it. It's described like when you have a crush on someone and it's really obvious and they don't notice it at all. It's science fiction, just go with it. It changes how you see things, moving on. From there, we have a bit of levity as we hear a message about a week later on June 4th, 2025. With the date, source, and validation unknown, I swear to God. But even without all that, it's easy to tell who this is supposedly.
Hello! Is anyone hearing this? I hope somebody is.
David Tennant's 10th or 14th Doctor, played by Jack Reeves. I want to go off on a tangent about Jack Reeves, but we simply don't have the time. Lovely man, if you're hearing this, Jack, hi. The Doctor explains he is trapped and blocked off from Earth by the creature, which calls itself the Formless. He does his common exposition thing. He's explaining how the creatures replaced him on Earth to take over. Most of the information we already know. He clarifies it only exists in perception, and multiple smart people observing it in one place and one time could allow him to reach Earth. His specific instructions are to get a lot of clever people in one room to overcome this creature's mental powers. He apologizes, wishing us luck, and the transmission ends. I know I said I'd hold off on theories, but there is no world that is Doctor Who from the cult classic British sci-fi television show Doctor Who. Call me a tinfoil hat, I don't care, bro, I just don't. In the middle of the video, a URL can be found in the subtitles that takes us to the first of our hidden videos titled Taken. It's a video where someone is walking at night and then they break out into a sprint. And there's also audio. I guess I'll play that now. It's kind of rough. Trigger warning for, I guess, misophonia. There's a lot of whispering. Just listen for yourself if you have the chutzpah, I guess, the chutzpah, the moxie. Yeah, I heard that at 10 p.m. while writing this script. You can guess how I slept. Girl, I wish I stopped existing. That was horrifying. There are a handful of clues that spin off from this video. I also mentioned offhandedly before, there's a newsletter program from Unit, sending emails with puzzles and hints in them. Most annoyingly for me, there are a lot of goddamn red herrings. This part is a shout out to the audio engineer in the Justification Discord that wasted my morning trying to decode your gibberish. You've got more than the Formless to worry about, bud. I'm coming for you. Allegedly. In Minecraft, many of these clues are either irrelevant or it's unclear how they'll be relevant in the future. So here's a quick lightning round through the less important ones. June 5th, Justification puts out a unit data analyst application for people to join this ARG. This is presumably the story's point of view character, the viewer, aka the unit's new data analyst. The original application has since been taken down because of over 50 applicants. We're preventing the end of the world. Does this salary feel fair? Or no? How do we feel, chat? In the various emails, we're given the names Siren and Marlow, along with hints about future videos. The clues are jumbled and many people are, quote, getting silly, so the rest of the clues I'm about to list are strongly believed to be real, but I have yet to confirm all of them personally, because I've spent so much time on this already, and that is above my pay grade. We've already talked about this. There's a conversation between the Formless and the Doctor, an email about the Doctor's spaceship, information about the Master's supposed whereabouts and status, confirmation that only one person is in charge of the unit archive's email, and a supposed supposed timeline of events. Since I can't confirm any of this evidence, I'll only really use it at the end, and I'll bring it up specifically when I'm using it. So take it all with a grain of salt. Finishing up this detour, we have 2 more hidden videos that I think I'm gonna get out of the way now. The first is called Why We Do It, and the second is Training Day Preview. There's no discernible timeline for these two, besides YouTube says they were both uploaded June 7th, 2025. These videos are found through decryption. I'm not getting into that nerd shit, frankly, here, but it was impressive, I'm sure. Training Day Preview is just a preview of a video we'll be covering shortly, but Why Do We Do It is much more dramatic, unfortunately. You see incredibly distorted footage of a walk through some kind of woods. There's the voice of what could be a unit employee, but it's unclear. The person explains the reason people knowingly give into the Formless, and that is because it's better than the horror of watching your leaders get replaced. The video ends with the person terrified as they give in and go to sleep. This video may be the one with the least information that we have. We don't know who this is, we don't know why they're recording or when they're recording this. It's just another piece of the puzzle, you know, just to think about, ruminate about. The next video is thankfully self-explanatory, though there are a few references to Doctor Who lore. The 4th video in the series was uploaded June 5th, 2025, titled Project Save the Doctor. This video is a secret meeting between 3 characters, Siren, Marlow, and Phil. Now earlier, I kinda lied, a little bit of a white lie. The man in the first 2 videos has not been confirmed to be the same Philip we meet now, but their voices are identical. They're both played by justification.
Good evening. Welcome to the new age of the Unified Intelligence Task Force. This is from the Unified Intelligence Task Force.
We're still not building theories yet, so you can choose to believe those are 2 different people still. I believe they're the same. The video is just a long shot of a table with a laptop on it, and the Doctor's sonic screwdriver from series 14 and 15, or 2024 and 2025. The name is a little kind of fucky, kind of season 1, season 2. Don't look into it, it's fine. We can assume this video is just being used to record the audio of the meeting, since the camera is not pointed at anything in particular. The trio talk about being the last uncompromised people left in unit. Philip is following the Doctor's instructions of getting clever people in one room, and he's asking these people to help him find those clever people. The team list off Doctor Who characters to try and get help from, none being available. Then they land on something Philip says he's not supposed to know.
Philip, who are you talking about right now? The Master.
More Doctor Who exposition. The Master is an alien like the Doctor, but they're evil. Their motivations change between writers, but they universally are a psychopath. However, there are a limited few times that this character has teamed up with the Doctor or unit to protect the universe. Even then, they're usually doing it for selfish reasons. Siren and Marlow panic at the suggestion. Siren quickly leaves the room, showing us that it's unlikely they are the one recording the video. Then Marlow reluctantly agrees to help Philip meet with the Master. The video ends as the recording is deleted. Though this is simpler than the hidden videos, there are several mysteries here. Elephant in the room, Philip supposedly died in the second video, and this video is confirmed to be latest in the timeline. Also, scrolling down in the description, there's German that translates approximately to one of them has a secret. Between this and the strange elements I've mentioned before, you can probably see where this is going. I do not believe that this is Philip anymore. I believe this is the Formless we're hearing. Why does this rando have access to the space psychopath that no one is supposed to know about? Why is he the only one who has access to our unit communication system? Why is he able to end the message the exact same way as the Doctor's before hearing the Doctor's message?
Sorry. Good luck.
I'm sorry. Good luck.
There's a certain degree of suspension of disbelief for the plot to happen, but everything is way too convenient for this Philip guy. The way he responds to emails is way too stiff and clinical for a man who has to single-handedly save the world. Here's a quick excerpt from Vammy's email chain with Philip. Again, take this with a grain of salt, but I've spoken to Vammy briefly and I think they're a reliable source.
When I knock, it bangs.
Are you trapped in there?
No, but he is.
Are you guarding him?
No, I'm pleading.
What for?
For help.
From the Formless? Why can't you just open the door and talk to him directly?
It's not the Formless we need help from.
Maybe you disagree that Philip is the same as the first man, but if you still trust him, you should see a therapist. You can't fix him. Lock me in a padded cell. I still believe this. The final video as of uploading this is Unit Training Program, released on June 8, 2025, but was originally supposed to go up on June 11th. This one is my favorite so far. Oh my god. It's a choose your own adventure with 6 different endings. If you're going to watch any part of the series, watch this one, please. I'll give you 5 seconds. Okay, did you watch it? If not, I'm incredibly disappointed, but I also respect that rebellion. I'll let you off with a warning. I expect everyone to watch the whole series after this video. We'll only really be covering the true ending because the other endings either tell us what we already know or point to the future of the series, which we'll theorize about, but we can't tell much about right now. This video is a pre-recorded message from Philip, who claims to be the current head of the data analyst team, training the viewer as the newest data analyst. He explains how things are strange at Unit right now, so instead of an easy first day, the viewer will have to deal with the heavy work of a science fiction government security organization, so weird shit. Most of the video is tests to check if the new employee is human and not an alien or shapeshifter. If you answer all of the prompts correctly, you get to answer an emergency call. A person named Siren has been receiving calls from a person with the same voice and phone number as them. You are given the choice to either call the anomaly or call the doctor. We already know calling the doctor is a bad idea, so if you call the anomaly directly, you get what the description lists as the true ending. The voice on the other side is identical to the siren in the meeting room. After a moment of being confused, the fake siren is able to tell they are talking to us specifically, referring to us directly as the analyst. Avoiding our questions, the fake siren tells us something interesting.
Of course. You want to know who I am and where I came from. Well, I wish I could tell you, honestly, but the truth is, you wouldn't even begin to understand. I'm not the only copy, though, I will say that, and neither are you. I know you very well. You'll be replaced shortly. But don't worry, you're not next on our list, so I'd sit tight. For now.
The call ends, but the video does not. Philip tells us to listen closely, and through the phone we hear a different pre-recorded message, but this time through a telephone call. He says this is to prevent his words from being monitored. We are instructed to meet with Philip, and the call is terminated. We're about to get to my theory, and it'll answer some of the questions you may still have after everything that we've heard so far. But first, I want to briefly cover another ending, the visitor ending. If you incorrectly pick out a shapeshifter, the screen shuts off and a woman's voice comes to your door. She does not give her name, and after being not let in, she comes in regardless and rushes to your side. She confirms several things about the Formless. Most interestingly, she points to where the series is heading next.
Only one can save you now. The Dark One. The Infinite One. The opposite of hope becomes hope when hope is gone. They call him Master.
There's a lot there, all pointing to the meeting of the Master, mentioned in the previous video. However, as neither of the people telling us to meet the Master are trustworthy, there's a good chance this is not all that it seems. What does this all mean? I'll try to cover as much as possible in what I'm calling the Candy Trail Theory. It only has that name to make it marketable. I'm honestly mostly going to be ranting. I'll also be referencing theories by Vammy and the L. It is my belief that this is all a setup to help the Formless take over the world and not to stop it. Really quick, before we get into this, June 10th, 2025, the latest video up as of now is the Master's release. Bit of a wrench in the theory because Philip is essentially possessed by the Master, who's dying down there because they were there for weeks. Anyways, Philip is the Master now, don't worry about it. Also, there's a hidden video that Philip left in case he died, where he says his mom used to say the opposite of hope becomes hope.
My mum used to say this thing to me. It was stupid, a bit poetic, a bit theatrical. She was a writer. She said the opposite of hope becomes hope when hope is lost.
So, the Philip theory isn't fully dead. Okay, bye-bye now. It's hard to attribute an inciting incident with the information we have, so let's make an assumption based on context clues. The Doctor is a reckless character by design. He needs to leave his invincible spaceship so he can get involved with the plot. At some point, the Doctor encounters the Formless and it copies his visage to make people trust it more as an attempt to assimilate them. Here's things getting contentious. Most of Unit is supposedly been taken. We don't know whether or not that's true, but we do know that they are unaware of what is happening. We can guess pretty confidently that they don't know what's going on. The first man I believe to be Philip. He sees the Formless and knows it's dangerous. He's able to resist it for a time, but after a week, his exhaustion gets the better of him and he's taken by the monster. From there, Philip is cloned or replaced, in my opinion, and begins to get to work on some kind of scheme. The email chain between Vammy and Philip once once again suggests that there is another faction at work that Philip is for some reason more worried about. Whether Philip is possessed by the other faction and, you know, there's some sort of thing going on there, or the Formless piloting Philip is afraid of this other faction, it's unclear. I believe that there is another faction though. I mean, there could be. I think that there's a good chance, and I think that the woman from the end of the Visitor ending and maybe some of the voices that we've been hearing could be a part of that other faction, maybe related to the Formless in some way or not. Philip specifically starts searching for a new data analyst with some ulterior motive, as seen in Vami's conversation. It may be he needs an analyst who can comb through all of the emails and find the password to the compound the Master is trapped in, but it's hard to say. The transmission from the supposed doctor is received, and now Philip has leverage to get people to join his crew. Siren still refuses. This may be because Siren is secretly evil and in an opposite faction, as the call with fake Siren happened before this did, according to our timeline, or because they just didn't want to. I think the latter, because the description specifically says one of them has a secret, which implies the other two are innocent. Now we reach present day. Philip and Marlow have plans of opening the Master's prison cell. Why the Master, you may be thinking? I have two possibilities. One, alliance, or two, another victim. If it's another victim, then maybe the Formless worries that the Master will stop them and his plans for control. That being said, I think the more interesting possibility is the Formless wants form. The L mentioned in their theory a connection to the 2023 anniversary special Wild Blue Yonder. Don't forget, this is a video about a television show. Stay on focus. In this special, the Doctor and his companion end up at the end of the universe with creatures that are trying to mimic and take their place. The Formless is incredibly similar with its abilities. It differs in that those weren't creatures of perception and their powers had nothing to do with sleep. But if we do assume that its rules are similar, it can only do so much as perception. Maybe it's in search of a body. If this is the case, there doesn't need to be another faction. Everything we believe to be separate from the Formless could just be a performance meant to lead us to our doom, meant to puppet us, to essentially bring it to life, like some Cthulhuan Lovecraftian horror. A candy trail to a witch's furnace in the woods. Okay, I like the theory I landed on. I'm very proud of myself, but there are several glaring holes, like the entire 6th video. Wow, unlucky. So let's get into it. I don't know how sleep plays into it. The fake Siren mentioned our character's supposedly also a duplicate of some kind, so that's probably, you can argue with my theory for that, but I think there's too many, you need to make too many assumptions to actually have my theory hold up there. And then there's the damn timeline. Let's get into this now. Looking at the supposed timeline, there's just more confusion and a suggestion of, pardon my French, timey-wimey occurrences. The first video was supposedly recovered before its listed recording date. Also, for all of you Philip lovers out there, I'll throw you a bone. This is an 100% real email that comes from the future as a recording that not only tells us that the creature feeds on confusion, but also that dates are scrambled and we should stay awake. All things that Philip didn't need to tell us, but did, and are incredibly helpful for solving the mystery. I still don't trust him, but there you go. This video is so long and I skipped so much. The next part is already finished and the part after that is currently in development. This video will be obsolete in a week. Apparently it became obsolete before I even finished it. There are 2 parts remaining in the Formless Unit Archive series, the first of which is coming out Friday the 13th, and a season 2 supposedly in the works. Damn, Justin, slow down, man. I can't keep up. Dear Lord. But I wanted to get my predictions in early and hopefully introduce as many people as possible to this. And Justin, if you somehow watch this, you're doing great work. Keep it up. Can't wait to see what happens next. Also, this is the most important part of this video. The rest of it was not important. I want to be known as the unit documentarian. I have no negotiating power, but I want that title. I'll do it for free. Give me the title. Please. I need this. Great job to all the voice actors on this project. You're all wonderful. Shout out to the community. Hikari, Uzunaru, Vami, of course, Time Driver, Jinx, again, great video, Ramnus, Clumpy Woods, Sagan, 404, Hacker Dude, and the person who made the document that I referenced this entire video, Dre O'Dev. I hope I said that right, you know? You are a godsend. If you didn't make this list, I either haven't spoken to you or you know what you've done. Shame on you. I hope this video helps in the search for truth, but if not, I'm sorry. Good luck.